Okay, so today I'm going to be reviewing the 1989 Batwing. So let's just jump into it. So here's the box. It's an 18 plus box style. It has 2,360 pieces and set number 76161. It releases for early VIP access on October 21st and for everybody else on November 1st. So here's the front of the box, the side, and the back. And one thing to note is the whole box is like shiny on all sides, and it's like this harder cardboard which I've not really seen before. And here's this side, and on the side, top side of the thing is just the Batwing and then the real life piece thing. Okay, here it is, and let me tell you something. It's really big. It takes up more space than the Masadi Cantina when it was displayed at the Lego store. And honestly, I think Lego should fire the people who take photos for these sets, because even with last year in the 1989 Batmobile, it was so much bigger than it looked in photos, and even for this. Like, I honestly think the photos hurt this more than it helps the product. And here are the three minifigures, the Boombox Goon, Batman, and Joker. And let's keep these aside for a second. Okay, so just giving a 360 view of the Batwing. It's packed with details. As you can see, on the sides with the girls, there's extra detail everywhere. And even at the back. And here you can see the UCS plaque. And you can just pause it and read it if you want, but I'm just gonna put this aside. And it just fits on the stand right here. And continuing with the 360, you can see there's details everywhere, and here you go. So here's a closer look at the details. So these are the two Gatling guns. They move a little bit side to side, but not that much. And then the signature bat ears, like they're not supposed to move, but they're on hinges, so you guys, I guess you can call that a function. The two rockets, and then some ear brakes or like flaps. And then the cockpit is just one giant piece you can just take out. And this piece right here is the same size as the playset Millennium Falcon, the cockpit. And here is the inside detail. So here's a closer look at the insides. There's a target pointing at Joker, and then a bunch of controls and panels. And then there's movable control sticks, which you can actually move. And then you can move the seat up and down, but I prefer to keep it down because then it has trouble the cockpit sitting in properly. And then another feature of this set is that you can hang it on the wall. And this is what it says how to do in the instructions. So right here it says bat engine. You just pop the hood. You get these crowbars, and it actually says this to do in the instructions. And you see this 2x4 tile. You just pop it out. And then you see over here, there's like a hole. And this is the piece that you hang the nail on, or like you put the nail and then hang this on. And then if you want for more space, you can just pull these aside too. And then you have a whole space to work with to hang your Batwing. So here's the Batwing off the stand, and it can sit flat. And you can just, use it normally. But one thing I want to show you guys is the amount of extra detail that I put into this. So if I just flipped it upside down, you can see that there's actually bricks on the underside and extra detail. Like, this is super unnecessary, but Lego just wanted to go out of the way to make this with extra detail. And here is where you put the stand, and this is where if you wanted to hang it, the nail would go. And yeah. So if you guys were wondering how they did this side, it's hinged in by rubber bands here and here. And I know some people don't like rubber bands, but it's not like too much strain on the rubber band. So you wouldn't have to worry about that. Like, maybe if you want to replace the rubber bands, maybe in like 10 or 20 years. But you don't really have to worry about that. And that's how they achieve this angle, and also on the other side. Here's the stand. So you just put the plaque on the studs right here, and it's made out of gray. Usually they're all black, but if it were black, it would look like part of the Batwing. So I understand why they did that. Now, to show you the scale of this thing, is I have the UCS Slave 1, and you just see that like it dwarfs the set in size. Even though it might be like slim from the wings, but it just looks massive beside another set which also costs $200 of the same price. So as you can see, also another thing to mention is that it's a pretty sturdy build. Like you can just lift it up from the wings and nothing would happen, or the front with like one hand, or the back with one hand, or you just put your one hand on the bottom. The only weak point I would say about the set is like just don't pick up these front ones, the side of the wing, because they kind of tend to move a little bit, but everywhere else if you pick it, it should be fine. Here's our first figure. It's the Batman played by Michael Keaton. So special thing about this figure is that the cape is all one piece. So it's all rubberized. The only other set this came in was a 1989 Batmobile. And if you look from the back, just some details, and then the alternative head. Okay, so next we have the Joker. He doesn't have an alternative face. This is the only face he has. And he has this like outfit, and the reason he has a pen is because in that scene he's wearing the same outfit and he throws a pen at someone and they get killed. And it's a pretty cool minifigure overall. The only thing I wish they did was in the scene his like green hair was popping out of the hat a little bit. I wish they could have done that, but it's still a pretty good figure overall. Next up we have Lawrence the Boombox Goon. A lot of people were disappointed because they wanted Joker's #1 actually named Bob. So that's why a lot of people didn't like this figure, but I think it's pretty good overall. There's especially some arm printing here with the Joker cards, and then he obviously has a boombox and some back printing, and yeah, it's a pretty good figure overall. Okay, so my final thoughts on this set is, if you like Batman, I highly recommend that you get this set. It's not as expensive as the 1989 Batmobile last year. It's $50 less. You get great minifigs. If you wanted that Batman minifig from last year, this is another way to get it. And this is such a good display piece. And if you don't have like space for Lego, this is especially a good set because you can hang this on the wall. And it's a great piece all around. I don't like how they marketed this 18 plus, because if you're 12 plus, I think you can build this set. So if you have the money and if you like Batman, I definitely recommend this. And even if you're not a fan of the 1989 Batman film, like even I didn't watch the film before getting this set, but after watching it and building the set, I highly recommend that you get this. That's all, and catch you later.